What's going on, guys? So we are out here at the 2024 Houston RV show, and this video is going to be a little different. We've been looking at a lot of RVs. There are tons and tons and tons of floor plans out here. But one thing that I always talk about and I mention whenever we look at RVs are if they have an outside kitchen. Now, for me, the definition of an outside kitchen is a kitchen. It has a place to cook, it has a place to wash your hands or rinse things off, and it has a refrigerator. And what this video is going to be focused around is finding the best outside kitchen that we can find in the entire show. So we've walked around this floor probably a dozen times at this point, and we have spotted some really cool outside kitchens. This is absolutely a full outside kitchen to me. But we're going to try to find the very best, and I'll explain why it's the very best once we find it. And what you may find out is that when we do find it, it's not on the type, the brand, the price range of RV you might expect it to be on. So let's check that out. Hang tight, I'll be right back. Okay, so very similar to the other one, this Volante has a full outside kitchen. I don't really like the placement of the refrigerator to the cooktop, though. I think that should have been swapped, because if you're cooking here, you can't open the refrigerator. So that's definitely not what I consider to be the best, even though it still does have a full outside kitchen. Okay, so now we're looking at a Sport Trek, and this also has a full outside kitchen, but it adds a TV with some really cool storage on each side of it. So you have your griddle right here, you have your outside sink, which is placed pretty dang well. The refrigerator's kind of small, but you do have a TV outside. I like this. This is a really cool kitchen, and it's still a contender for the best because the placement of all of this is actually really well done. And I like the wood tones around it as well. What do you guys think? Okay, so this is also a Sport Trek, but this is a slightly smaller but still full-size kitchen because you have your cook surface, your wash surface, and a refrigerator. No storage out here at all, though. That's a problem. So some people may prefer this smaller type kitchen, and typically when it's smaller like this, it's because the interior area that this takes up only supports something this size. But this is still a full kitchen, and I like it. It's just more compact. But what do you think of this one? We'll call this the number 3. So the one right here with the slightly larger one with the TV, that's number 2, and then the one we featured at the beginning was number 1. So this is number 3. Let's look for number 4. Okay, so we're on to number 4, and are we still looking at Sport Treks? No, this is a KZ Connect. Same company that makes a Sport Trek, though, so still a KZ product, but this is a full kitchen. Now this one, even though it has a sink, it's a little cheaper looking sink. It's a little bit different, but you have prep space here. It's kind of high off the ground. You have a drawer for all of your utensils and supplies, much larger refrigerator than the previous two. You have a nice griddle right here, and it comes off the RV a fair amount. Just keep in mind, if you're cooking things that splatter, you're still going to clean this area up. Has nice storage here, and it also has a little cabinet right here to put things as well. You could easily fit a microwave right here if you want as well, but it doesn't have a TV or a microwave. You'd have to add those, and you definitely don't have a spot for a TV. You'd probably have to use a little side connection that they sometimes give you. All right, so again, another Sport Trek, and it just happens to be because we're walking down this aisle, and they're doing really good so far with their kitchens. Cooktop, sink, stainless steel, I like that. Larger refrigerator, 2 drawers that are nice and low. Oh, this isn't a drawer, that's just where you put some soap and cleaning utensils. You have a little prep space there, no microwave, but it does have a TV, and I like the backing to it. This is also really nice. So this is number 5. What do you think of number 5? Okay, so I filmed a lot of Deltas from Alliance, and I've told them time and time again, this is not a full outside kitchen. You have your cook surface, your refrigeration, but no sink, and you don't really have room for a microwave or an amount of TV, which isn't as important to me. But again, missing the sink is a big one for me. So they need to find a way to scoot that stuff over and put a sink in right there. And then across from it, we have this Flagstaff, and that's a big no as well. There's no sink. It's a nice size refrigerator. It's got a 2-burner cooktop, which is also nice. It swings in, but they should have put a sink right there, or at least a gravity style sink with a basin and a water connection, so you have the ability to at least wash your hands, wash the fish you catch, things like that. Well, let's keep hunting. Nope. Okay, so I've spotted a Puma, and this one's kind of cool. The other ones were just kind of ones that we passed by and said nope because they didn't meet the criteria. But this one has a basin that's removable. It has the sink that pours in here. You have to empty this water out, which I think is fine. Compact refrigerator, cooktop, and a nice storage drawer right here. So this is kind of creative because it's in a really narrow spot or flat spot. this does definitely qualify as a full-size kitchen. You don't have any type of covering here, and the awning doesn't cover it as well. But what do you think of a kitchen like this? This is closer to like the Surveyor we have, where you have this kind of basin that just fills up with water. A lot of off-road brands from Australia have a similar type setup. You just have to drain the water when you're done with it. But in my opinion, this isn't going to be a competitor for the best because it's kind of basic. Moving on. Now this one is kind of cool as well. It is a full kitchen, but as you can see, you squeeze through here to get to your sink because your cooktop's here, and the cooktop swings in under here when you're not using it. It does have cabinetry, does have a reasonable size compact refrigerator, and it does have a cover as well as the awning which extends over it. What do you guys think of this setup right here? It also looks like it has the ability for this to swing around and support another grill on the back, possibly a spare tire, not sure. But this is an interesting one. Okay, so this is one of my favorites. What do you guys think of this one? Now, this has the sink, it's got the drawers, compact refrigerator, microwave, cabinet, prep space, and a cooktop. What's wrong with this one? Well, let's continue on some of the things that are right. It's got a nice cover right here to protect you. The awning doesn't go over it though. This is kind of your protection, which is fine. This works real well, except water that gets on the hinge. You might still have water that drips in right there if it doesn't run off first. But the problem with this floor plan is the fact that if my daughter were to use this, she couldn't reach the sink. She wouldn't be able to turn the water on. She wouldn't be able to wash her hands. So if she's outside and I wanted her to, she just wouldn't be able to reach it. So she'd have to get a stool or something to stand on, which isn't a bad idea. If you know you have that problem, then just go ahead and get the step up that you need to access it. But this, right now, out of all of them, is arguably the most equipped, depending on if a TV or a microwave is more important to you. And I think this is number 7. I may be getting my numbers confused at this point because we're actually looking at a lot more than you might think, and we're doing a lot of walking. What do you think of this one? Let's just call this one number 7. Okay, so now I think we're on number 8. This is an open range unit. This has a full kitchen. You got the sink, still difficult for someone who's shorter to reach, a little bit more accessible than the previous one. You have your griddle here. It's a much wider griddle. You have one pull-out drawer there, a lot of storage up here that my wife and kids definitely probably wouldn't be able to reach without some type of a step-up. Nice prep area, except it's on the other side of the griddle, which I don't really care for. And then you have a nice compact refrigerator. What do you think of this one? And I think, again, this is number 8. Okay, so number 9 is a Wildwood Heritage Glen, and this is a full kitchen. So you have your griddle right here. You have cabinetry, no drawers, but that might not disqualify this one, and I'll explain why. You have your compact refrigerator, nice sink that's in here. Why this one is so appealing is because the average person can reach it. My daughter could easily walk up to this, turn this on, reach this, wash her hands, and if they had put this above a drawer, it would have raised it up to a level that you couldn't do that. So for number 9, I really like this because the fact that it's a little bit more accessible, even though you may not have the drawers and the storage except up here. But that's kind of an interesting reason why this one might elevate itself higher on the list. But this is number 9. This is a GeoPro, and this thing's super tiny. Doesn't even have a bathroom. And this one has a full kitchen. So you have the cook area, you have a sink, you have a compact refrigerator, you have a microwave, you have lower storage, and you have upper storage. And this is all aluminum storage. That is really cool. Now this right here isn't mounted properly. It's just kind of sitting up here. Well, maybe it is mounted properly. Nope, this is not mounted the way it should be mounted. This probably mounts off the side. So that's probably going to be a big reason why this one doesn't win, but it is pretty dang cool. But there's no interior kitchen. It's just an outside kitchen, so they do have to execute on this one well. It's still a little bit tall right here to reach for someone who might be shorter or kids, but most smaller kids I think would be able to deal with that. But what do you guys think of this? And this would be number 10. Okay, so it took a little searching, but we found another really nice one. So this is a Grand Design Influence fifth wheel. This one's pretty dang nice. It's got an outside sink, nice and low, so that's really good. Most people would be able to handle that. Good prep area, nice suburban cooktop here. It has arguably the nicest looking refrigerator with the glass door on the front of it. Also cabinetry storage here as well. No drawers down here, but this is actually, it's got a drawer right there. You'd have to put your griddle in to get to it, but this is a pretty cool setup. This one definitely is a contender, has a nice thick door above it. The awning does not extend over it, but this would provide you a lot of shade and protection as well, and because it's a little lower, the angle of the sun's not going to influence you as much. What do you think about this? This is really cool. This is number 11, I believe. Okay, so we had to essentially go to the back corner of this entire building to find this one. Springdale. So this has a very functional outside kitchen. Nice covered area. You have your 2-burner cooktop here, has a stove. None of this is interfering with each other. Or sorry, has a sink that's not interfering with the stove. You have a good sized Everchill refrigerator. You have some cabinetry up there. It is still a little high off the ground, only because of how they've positioned this with this box here. But this is still a pretty nice one, right? This is going to be number 12. What do you guys think? And that's really going to wrap it up. So, out of all of the outside kitchens that you've seen, which one's your favorite? What's important to you? That's kind of the key. Some folks might want something minimalistic. Some folks might want something with more going on. And this is kind of a good mix. But what's important to you whenever you're looking at an outside kitchen? And hopefully this video helped kind of focus you in on those things. Anyways, guys, please leave your answer in the comment section below. Hope you've enjoyed this video. If you haven't had a chance, please take a moment, subscribe to the channel, give me a thumbs up. We'll talk to you again very soon.